Welcome to One Bills Live. Chris Brown, Steve Tasker, and joining us in studio now for his weekly visit is Bills safety Micah Hyde for his segment, Nothing to Hide. Welcome, Micah. It's been a little bit of a hiatus here with the Thursday night games. You know, we've been kind of muddling our way through a different schedule, as the players have, I'm sure. What's it been like in there?
You know, we just, whatever the schedule is, you just got to keep rolling with the punches and keep going. You know, I feel like we haven't had a routine this year. It's just been like, you know, Thursday night games, Monday night games, Sunday night games, Sunday day games. So it's good, though. A lot of primetime games, and a lot of guys are watching in on us.
This does have to feel like a breath of fresh air for the locker room, getting a little bit of a mini bye after the Thursday game, then coming in and say, okay, here we go, 1 o'clock on Sunday.
Exactly.
Let's work towards it.
Yeah, you know, watching little NFL games over the weekend and getting to chill with the family, that was huge.
Yeah.
All right, so we put the call out to the fans on our social media account, One Bills Live, asking you 4 questions to ask Micah. So I've got the list here in front of me as we had a ton of responses. So the first one comes from Chris, and this is not from me. If you had to take 3 teammates with you into a foxhole, who would they be and why?
3 teammates into a foxhole. Who would they be and why? I'm taking my DBs with me.
Okay.
You know, those are guys I watch a lot of film with, go to war with on the weekends. And I'm going to say Tre'Davious. I'm going to say Poe. And I'll throw in Taryn.
Okay.
And those 3, I'm going in and we're gonna hang out.
It's like the 4 amigos.
Yeah, exactly.
4 amigos.
Yep.
It's crazy to think that, what is this? This is, like, if you were still on the field when Trey came back, well, that's 6 seasons for the 3 of you, Poyer and Trey, and then Taryn came the next year, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
5 years.
5.
Man.
Throw in Tremaine, that's 5, and throw in Milano, that's 6. So that's the back 7, you know, been together for that long. So, yeah. It's pretty impressive in the league to do that.
Yeah, it is. It makes a difference on the field, too.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Okay, question number 2. This is from Jenna. Out of all the places you've traveled to, what is your favorite? And then what's the weirdest food you've tried while traveling?
I think I know who that is. Jenna Elkoberry. Shout out to Jenna. I miss you.
She said, love you, brother.
Yeah. Places. The favorite place I ever traveled to was Jordan.
Okay.
Yeah, went to Jordan. My wife, her family is from there. So we went back. I saw where her parents grew up and all that type of stuff. Went to Petra. Went to Wadi Rum and went to the Dead Sea, and it was one of the most amazing trips I've ever been on.
Can you still sit in the Dead Sea and float? Sit straight up?
Yeah, you can't put your face in it though. It's so salty. You put your face in it, you're gonna come up. But yeah, you sit in there, you float.
They say you can sit like you're sitting in a chair and you'll float.
You float. It's the crazy.
So much salt.
It's the craziest thing. Like when you look at the water from like top down, it looks like gasoline. You know the way gasoline looks.
Oh wow!
And you just get in it and you just float.
Because there's that much salt.
Yeah, but then you get the mud. You rub it all over your body. It's supposed to be good for you. Yeah, it's
good for your complexion.
Wow, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
What about the food? What food have you eaten?
Craziest food? Maybe like Kangaroo or something out in the outback.
It's the tail, right? That's the delicacy.
To be honest,
of the
I
Kangaroo.
have no idea, but I tried it and it wasn't that bad.
Tastes like chicken.
Tastes like chicken. Everything tastes like chicken. Everything tastes like chicken. Yeah.
No, the only reason I asked that is because my parents have been to Australia, and they said the part of the kangaroo that's considered the premium part is the tail, because of all the 80% of a kangaroo's muscle is like in its tail.
Yeah, I have no idea. I just tried it, and like you said, it tastes like chicken.
Is it tender or like is it gamey or?
It's harder than chicken.
Okay, so
but
it's firm,
not as like beef. You know, like a steak. Yeah,
okay. So it might be a little gamey. All right. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can. If I ever go down there, I don't know. It's summer down there now.
It is.
I'd go now.
I made the mistake and went to the Outback. I don't recommend doing that.
No?
Yeah, we got off the flight. Too many flies, gnats. Like it was insane.
Is that a seasonal thing though? I mean,
I don't know. I don't.
But you were out in it.
You
were roughing it officially.
If we go to the Outback, or if we go to Australia, we want to go to the Outback, and so we did. And as soon as we landed, we called our travel agent.
Regretted
get us out of here. It was hot. It was just bugs. It was wild.
I regret that decision. Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Well, hey, you call an audible. Scott wants to know, hi, Micah. I hope you're doing well. My question is, besides playing football, what else do you like to do in your spare time and why?
Well, we talked about traveling. I love to travel. We have 2 kids now, so that's a little harder to do. Right. Speaking of kids, though, I like to just hang out with them. You know, we're here long hours hanging out, so when I get home, I like to just wrestle with MJ in the basement, play a little football. He thinks his new favorite player now is Gosh Allen.
Gosh
Allen. So, we
Kind
play.
of got to live with it.
Still working on the Jays.
Yeah. So he runs around. He acts like he's Gosh Allen, and my little girl. So we just play in the basement.
Yeah.
I know you play a little bit of golf once in a while.
Yeah, every now and then.
Yeah.
Every now and then. I love to golf, but like I said, kids kind of limit that a little bit. But I'm in San Diego. It's beautiful weather. It's always a good time to get out.
Yeah.
Josh would like to know, how much have you helped Damar Hamlin with his development? What's the biggest piece of advice you've given him?
Well, just start off with the biggest piece of advice. I would say just be yourself. I think that each and every player in our secondary and on our team really brings something different to the team. And D-Ham's not me, and I'm not D-Ham. So go out there and play your ball. What got you here? Be comfortable. Play fast. Have fun. Hit people. That's his game.
We know he hits.
That's it. That's his game. So just go out there and do that. And I just try to be in his ear every now and then, whether if it's disguise or adjustments that we make or what I see to help him out throughout the week. But I don't want to bombard him. I want him to go out there, play fast, play free, and so that's kind of my advice that I give him.
How do you pick and choose that stuff? Because I'm sure you see something every series, and it's probably got to be eating you, like it's eating you up inside. I want to tell him. But then, like you just said, you don't want his head swimming with all the things that Micah just told me. Like,
exactly.
Worry about the call and then whatever. So what tips the scales and puts you into, he's got to know this.
Yeah.
This will make him better on the field for the next series.
Yeah, if it's something that, like what you said, is going to make him better for that next series, I have to, obviously I have to say something to him. But if it's just like a little nuance in our disguise that, really isn't going to show up again the rest of the game, I'll wait till after the game, film study, and then I'll get to it when we talk about the game.
Yeah, and as this season progresses, how have you seen him and Poe grow together too? I mean, because they've got to be getting better, more comfortable with each other. What's the feedback been from them about how it's going?
Well, even talking to Poe and seeing the way they play together, I think Poe's message is the same thing: just go out there and be yourself.
Yeah.
So I think that once he was able to get out there, and he played a lot in training camp, but not with Poe, but then once the season came, playing some with Poe, you could just see how they're gelling together, disguise wise, they're coming together a little bit. It's hard because. Once I played, I don't know how many snaps I played with Poe, but I know that when the ball's lined up, I know where Poe is at any given time. Even though I don't even see him, I know disguise-wise with every single call where he's going to be at, what I need to show. And so D-Ham, doesn't have that type of experience. So you see them kind of working on it, talking pre-snap, hey, if they come out like this, let's show this, let's do that. So it's really good to see.
And I realize it's probably important to have that, nailed down every week, but with a quarterback that's only played 5 regular season games in his career, if you can change what he sees pre-snap and it's totally different post-snap, advantage defense, right?
100%. Any way you can affect the quarterback, affect his feet, affect his arm, affect his eyes with disguise, you're going to be successful. And so, someone that hasn't seen every single defense like an Aaron Rodgers or a Tom Brady, you got to go out there and you got to disguise and you got to make it sticky for him.
All right.
Yep. So we've got another from the tweet sheet from Tony. He says, quarterbacks give these Christmas gifts to the offensive line. What do you safeties do? What do you guys do in your room about gifts? And also, when was the first time you met Jordan Poyer?
Oh man, so we don't have quarterback money in our room, so we're not getting ATVs.
Doing all right.
We're not getting ATVs and all that type of stuff. New cars and all that. Yeah. So we have a little gift exchange. Everybody get a gift. I'm not gonna say the amount, but everybody get a gift. And
do you guys go white elephant? Like you put them in a pile and then draft
you pick.
pick?
Yeah, exactly. You pick one, and then if it gets stolen twice, then it's the person's gets
no more than 2 steals.
No more than 2 steals, exactly. And you put your name in a hat. And I think last year we went youngest to oldest. I didn't like that because I don't want to go last again.
Yeah.
Right.
So I want to be in the middle of the pack.
I
don't want to go first either because that's not fair.
You think that's a disadvantage going first in the white elephant?
For sure.
Yeah, we always had it though. If the guy
if
the guy who went first if the person who went first has their gift at the end, they get to go last time. They just
if it gets stolen, right?
Cool. If it never gets stolen.
Now here's an important part because people do this differently with the white elephant thing. When they pick it.
Yeah.
Do they open it in yours? Or
So
do they
whenever
just sit with it?
No, whenever you pick a gift, you
have
open
to
it.
open it.
You
yeah.
have to open it.
That's
so,
why going
so
last,
if yours
you
gets
should want to
stole,
go last. Because now you know everything that everybody
but
has.
if somebody opens something good and it got stole maybe once, or I want
Oh,
it.
the 2 steals.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's off the
that
table.
kind of plays into it too. Yeah. So, all right. So then, to meet. When was the first time?
First
I met
time
Poe?
you met.
Right.
So we have a mutual friend, Christian Kersey. I went to college with. Poe played with in Cleveland together. So before we got to Buffalo in 2017, it might have been 2015 after the season, Poe came out to San Diego. And I want to say I met him at Hooters. I don't know how. I think it was down the street from our apartment, and we were just eating some wings there. Next thing you know, Poe comes in and hanging out, and we're hanging out at the apartment. So that was the first time I've ever met Poe.
Okay.
And then 2 years later, teammates.
So how weird was that? Because that's like
Well, it was
2
weird.
years ago. You never would have thought. Probably.
Never would have thought. But it's funny
Right.
because when I was in Green Bay, I was number 33. When he was in Cleveland, he was number 33. And so the laughing joke was anytime Poe came up on film, whether it was special teams or defense, they would be like, oh, look at Micah. Well, they were doing the same thing to him in Cleveland. Or I'm sorry, look at Micah saying for Jordan. And they were doing the same thing in Cleveland for him, saying, oh, you look just like 33 for the Packers. So, it's just funny that come full circle, we end up being, teammates.
Was 33 available here when you guys got here?
It wasn't.
Yeah, it
Cole
wasn't.
Anderson had it.
Okay.
And he wanted a little compensation for it, and I said, it's not that serious.
yeah,
I
you
didn't
know
pick
what?
33 in Green Bay, so
Right.
I didn't
Okay.
care.
That's an amazing thing. That's how you get your jersey number. You walk in and it's hanging there, and it's like, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
For a guy like me.
Me too. When I got to Green
Right.
Bay, they told me you're number 33, and I was like, I don't have a choice. And they're like, we already put Hyde on the back of it, so it's too late.
Yeah.
Like, thanks.
Like, all right, all right.
welcome
And
to
I was,
Green Bay.
yeah,
Yeah.
the last thing I want to do is make it stink when you get here, right? Like,
Exactly.
oh, hey.
Like you're that guy.
Right, I
Yeah,
don't wanna
for
be
sure.
that guy.
I'm trying to make a team.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Last one we got here is from Justice. Just how good of a coach is Leslie Frazier, and what premium does he bring to a defense? I guess what's the best quality he brings to your defense?
Yeah. Well, first of all, congrats to
Yeah.
Frage. That's big time.
Yeah, we were all over yesterday. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing to see, obviously him get the respect and the credit and what he deserves. But what he brings to this defense, I love the way that Frazier is after every single game. And I say this all the time. Like, there's no highs, there's no lows with Frazier. Like, he's a former player. He gets it. Like, every game is not going to be your best game. Every game is not going to be your worst game. But within each game, we talk about, what we can improve on, and we just continue to move forward. So I think that's what he brings to his defense. He's calling plays, he's putting guys in position to make plays, but after the game and just the mentality that he has is just always get better, always push for more. And as a player, you got to respect that.
I mean, it was amazing to me. You see what this Dolphins offense has done the better part of the last 6 weeks, and you go back to week 3 and think about the defense he had to literally cobble together with all the guys that were down due to injury, and then down in numbers,
Yeah.
120 on the field.
Yep.
I mean, they scored 21 points,
See, this
including
is the-
one touchdown on a short field
Yeah.
after a fumble inside your own red zone.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, this is the life of an NFL player. It's week in and week out. Steve, you know this. It's all about matchups.
Right.
Like, it's all about matchups. And maybe one week some guy might be out or whatever it may be. But each and every week you got to face a different offense. You got to switch up your defensive scheme a little
good
bit. We
players,
could play the Ravens one week. The next week you may play the Dolphins. The next week you may play, whoever. So it's just, I don't think people understand that you're not going to go out there every single week and just blow people out. It's just about matchups, and it's hard to.
It's about matchups now more than ever.
For sure.
More than ever. It's about getting your good guys matched up on their bad guys.
100%.
Yeah.
What is your I want to flip it around and talk about your guys' offense a little bit. We've seen this migration the last couple of weeks here, and I actually asked Steph about it after the Detroit game. And I said, it looks like you guys are making a concerted effort to kind of diversify your offense, run the ball with a little more purpose and production, another thing for a defense to think about. And he said, well, we're kind of doing it on the fly. He said, I feel like we're growing as we're going. And he goes, it's not all going to be perfect every single week because we're trying to add a pretty significant component to what we want to be as a complete offense. Number one, whether it's offense or defense, how hard is that to do on the fly within the scope of a season? And then number two, give me the defensive perspective as to, how challenging that is seeing the Bills offense doing what they're doing if you had to face them.
Yeah, well, I think number one, how difficult is that
During the season, yeah.
I mean, it's definitely difficult during the season, but at the same time, from week 1 to week 17, you're trying to establish identity, and throughout the season, it's gonna change. Like
Okay.
you got to become one and start playing together and all that type of stuff. So, I mean, I feel like that's cool. It's cool to see. It's cool to see the offense, getting an identity and establishing the run game and just getting everybody involved, because that's what's harder for a defense. And so to transition into what I'm seeing as a defensive player, if an offense is making the game two-dimensional, it's tough.
Yeah.
You got to stop the run, you got to stop the pass, stop the run, and then it becomes a guessing game. Like, are they going to run the ball? They're going to pass the ball. And as a defense, when you're playing like that, and when you're having that guessing game, you're playing on your heels. You're not able to play fast and attack and whatever. Now, when it's a passing situation, that D-line pins their ears back, the secondary is able to break on the football and all that type of stuff, it's so much easier. So I would say that it's cool to see our offense doing that, because defensively, I know how tough it is.
Right.
Yeah, because I saw, and we heard, you hear media reports all around the league, and there was this general opinion out there, outside of this building, that the Bills' offense was depending on Josh too much to be Superman every single week, and they had to diversify and be more than just that. But, first of all, that's a gigantic burden, even if it is somebody as talented as Josh.
Yeah.
But number two, I just kind of harken back to last year. That run game kind of hit its stride the last month of the season, and you guys on offense were like unstoppable when you got to the playoffs. And I'm thinking, ooh, looks like we're heading down that road again here.
Hey, you want to be playing your best football come December. Come December, your best football into January. And, when our offense is putting up, the dual attack and running the ball, passing the ball, it's fun to watch. It is very fun to watch. So, just keep giving them confidence and hit this thing running.
Good stuff, man. Thanks for coming. It's good to see you again, man. It's been a minute.
Man.
Yeah.